Hi everyone, welcome to the Uncommon Senses podcast. In this new series, Sustainable Living Pod, we collaborate with Sustainable Smart Campus as a living lab in HKUST and explore technologies and projects by faculties and students that create a change to sustainability on campus and beyond. I'm your host, Talia. From the mountains of clothing disposed by people every year, to the piles of food waste and single-use containers at landfill, from the million drops of water wasted during shower, to privileged communities unaware of their wasteful behavior. Jockey Club's Sustainable Campus Consumer Program, JCSCCP for short, aims to create a change. Joining us today is Charlie and Michael from JCSCCP. Their team has launched various initiatives in HKUST, including the AI-driven reusable meal container, green campus challenges, close swap events, and so on. Thank you for being here today with us.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you for being here. So to start off, can you first introduce what JCSCCP is?
Sure. So as you mentioned, JCSCCP is Jockey Club Sustainable Campus Consumer Program. So it is a program sponsored by a Jockey Club. So it's a 3-year program, and we aim to drive sustainability and promote the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, number 12, which is responsible consumption and production in our 8 universities campus.
Right. So specifically, what are the initiatives that JCSCCP has implemented on the HKUST campus, and where can they be found?
So there are a lot. So such as the Lunchbox landing program, such as we have some behavior change showerhead installed in different residential halls, and also we have some smart meters. So all of this we can track the water consumption and electricity consumptions of our students.
Right.
So that when they have the data, and when we have a different like promotional campaigns, we can help to change their behaviors in terms of water consumption, electricity consumption, and also like takeaways, containers behaviors.
Wow, that sounds like, a lot of initiatives that JCSCCP is doing in HKUST. And first of all, I would like to discuss about the Lunchbox lending program that you first mentioned. So I'm sure that we have seen them around campus. And personally, I borrowed these lunchboxes before, and I really loved how convenient they are. And I believe it's also a great alternative in response for the ban of single-use plastic boxes in restaurants in Hong Kong starting from April. So Michael, I would like to know, what are the impacts brought by the Lunchbox lending program on campus since its implementation?
Yes. So actually, we have implemented for more than nearly a year. So we started our pilot during 2023 May, and then throughout these several months, we have successfully have around the reduction of around 5,600 takeaway.
Wow.
That's the transaction that we have. But of course, we think that our campaign, apart from the transaction that is through the machines, it has also been influencing all our users along the campus.
Right.
So maybe we have influenced them to bring their own containers as well. Yes. So one thing is, of course, we help to reduce the single-use disposables on our campus.
Right.
And also, secondly, the more important thing is that we think with this type of program, we can embed sustainability in our campus, because to have this type of infrastructures on our campus, we actually need to do a lot of collaboration with different offices and departments, such as if we want to put a machine in some location or campus, we actually need to coordinate with different facilities members so that they can give a good place for us. And also, because in our program, it's not about just lending out containers. It's also about collecting back the containers and help the users to clean it. So this part, we also need to collaborate with our campus service office as well. So I think throughout all these collaborations, we started to have a lot of conversations with different departments, and then to make them feel that all this sustainability operation is starting to be some kind of standard and routine operation in our campus. So I think with all these languages and conversations, we can help to drive a lot more, like a different policy change in the future.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I think a lot about sustainability is, collaborating with different parties and figuring out the logistics as well. And I really like how much effort it has been put under just, a little machine that we can see on campus. So actually, where can they be found throughout the campus?
Yes. So, and on our USD campus, so if you don't know our program, so it consists of one borrow machine and also a return machines.
Yeah.
So right now we have 2 borrow machines on our campus. One is outside the LG1 canteen, and the other one is outside our Passion restaurants.
Right.
So for the return machines, we try to locate it at some convenience locations on our campus. And of course, those are high traffic locations as well. So one of the return machines, we put it at the atrium. And then the other return machine, we put it outside the Passion as well.
Also, I actually talked with you guys before this podcast recording, and we discussed about how single-use cups can basically be reduced, especially we talked about examples. For example, Starbucks, they have these disposable cup schemes where you can basically get a pretty big discount, and there's people kind of storing their own reusable cups, and the importance of basically the staff working at these restaurants asking you if you are bringing your own reusable cups and stuff. So this question is for Charlie. So do you have any of your personal experiences where you think that any kind of behaviors or actions by restaurants or by consumers themselves that can induce this kind of behavior change and let them bring their own reusable cups or reusable lunch boxes?
Yeah, I think starting or just doing things yourself first is really important, and just I think leading by example is really great. And also just being willing to have open conversations with the people that you're interacting with. For example, I started bringing the lunchbox to the LG1 canteen in the mornings to buy my bread. And then I would be probably the only one in line carrying a lunchbox, and everyone else would get their bread in a paper bag. And the staff started to recognize me after a few weeks. They know exactly what I want, and they'll put it in the box. And then also, other than that, I think for myself, I sometimes go to American Diner to grab my meals. And then I'm not sure if you know, there's some places on our campus that give you a discount if you bring your own container. And if you bring this container, you don't need to wash it. We'll wash it for you. And it's pretty great. And for American Diner as well, there's a small discount on your whole meal when you bring your own container. And there was one time when I went during the mornings. I've never gotten breakfast there before, so I brought my box and I ordered a breakfast. And I didn't realize that it came with a coffee, so I didn't bring a cup. And so then I had to so the lady at the cashier was like, "Oh, you brought your box, but you forgot your cup. Well, bring your cup next time." So then I couldn't get the discount. But then even not just a cashier lady, but everyone on the lunch line were like, "Oh, you forgot your cup. Bring it next time." So I think it really does matter. Just more people bringing their own boxes to the restaurant, showing the staff that people are aware and care about this issue. It really drives that change.
Right. Yeah. There's so much we can do as a consumer, and I think policies can do, and also a lot of things that these firms and companies, their staffs can also do to drive a change. So from the website that introduces about the lunchbox lending system, I read that there's a lot of technology being involved in this lending machine. So I was reading how artificial intelligence is used in this reusable meal container lending system. So Michael, could you kind of elaborate more about this and explain it for someone that's not really good at technology like me?
Yeah. So during our developing the prototype of this machine, so we explored different options on how to recognize the containers, because we are a program that the people, when they return the containers to our machines, they can get $20 deposit back. So we don't want our machines to be like a system that can be hacked, that people can get a lot of $20 back. So we tried out different RFID tags and also QR codes and different stickers. But at the end of the day, if we just relied on those tags and QR codes, actually people can print out their own RFID tag and QR code and put inside machines, and then they can get $20 back. So we were approached by companies which they are good in artificial intelligence. So they have these cameras. So they have these cameras to learn the shape, learn the appearance of our containers. As you can see, there are a lot of different little features on our containers, such as the colors, such as the QR code, such as different designs like the wordings. So they train those cameras to only recognize these containers. So that this is the artificial intelligence part. So what is the good about this part is that at the initial stage of our development, we also envision that we will maybe in the future put like a lending cup program, lending utensils programs, and all this we can make use of that AI models to train it, and then with the same machines it can also recognize all these expansion modules in the future.
Wow,
Yes.
that's really cool. I've never imagined like this system can have so much, use of modern technology. And I was very curious because like last semester I had a course on life cycle assessments, and there's, products that seem to solve one issue, but then it will create more problems on, other stages of the product's life cycle. So like, although the machine, I would say, can decrease the number of single-use containers ending up in the landfill, like I imagine the electricity used to run the machine and resources used to manufacture the machine and the plastic boxes will all take up quite some resources. So how is this lending system more sustainable than single-use container boxes other than the end-of-life stage?
Yes. So I think during the last semesters when we collaborate with the professors, it was a very good learning experience for us and students and the professors as well.
Right.
So because at first, of course, we didn't think a lot more comprehensively in terms of the whole life cycle, but we find out that through the works from the students and the professors, we find that some of the hotspots, some of the key points that we need to make our whole system more sustainable or have a less carbon emissions is that we need to increase the reuse rates, and also because those vending machines, as we need to keep the containers hygienic, so it has some kind of like air conditioning system in it as well.
Right.
So we need to decrease the electricity consumption as well.
Yeah.
So after that, we found that the reuse rate, we need to have like more than 100 times reuse rates on the same containers within a year, so that it will be more sustainable than other one-time use options. So what we are trying to do right now is that we apply some tagging system on our containers in HKUST, and then we want to find out the real reuse rate, and then see whether there are some mechanisms that we can use to like incentivize the people to return the containers. Because right now, like a $20 deposit is actually a good deal for a lot of people. So they will just treat it as use $20 to buy a containers and then never return it.
Yeah.
So in the next phase, we're thinking on some return mechanisms so that for this program it can be more sustainable, and then and then for the electricity as well.
Yeah.
Because for the hygienic part is a big concern from a lot of our users. So giving like a minimal level of air conditioning is still needed, but we find out because we have some data platform, and then we know that during some operating times, the transaction rate is super low, like up to 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. That period of time, there's like minimal people borrowing the lunchbox. So right now, we just put a timer, and it will automatically turn off after 11, and it will automatically turn it on again at 7 a.m. So this, with our calculation, it will save around like 1/3 of the electricities. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for the sharing on the Lunchbox lending scheme. And certainly, I think I have learned a lot through this conversation. Aside from the Lunchbox lending program, I think JCSCCP has also implemented various projects, challenges, and events to promote green living and create a behavior change among students. So I definitely remember the smart showerhead in my hall 5 last semester, and I love how it has like a very simple feature to remind me to shorten my showering time, and also the clothes swap donation boxes and pop-up events in Atrium. So regarding the behavior-activated shower heads and smart electricity meters installed in these residential halls, how much water has actually been saved?
Yes, so in UST, we installed the shower heads in Hall 5 and Hall 6. So we collected back the baseline data. That is the WST water bill. And then for Hall 5 and Hall 6, in total, in average, they save around 50% water consumption.
Wow.
Just with our shower heads on it. Yes.
Wow, that's a lot actually. So again, I think it also has quite a lot of technology involved in this smart shower head. So how does it actually work, and how does it like detect the amount of water used during shower, and how does that, induce a color change, and how are these data being sent to data platforms for university to use to induce like behavior change?
Yes. So in layman terms, because this shower head, it has two big functions. The first one is that we have different like water label system, water label scheme for different shower heads,
Right.
And then they have like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. And then we found that in most of our university halls, they are not using a grade 1 water efficient shower head. So we source a shower head that is grade 1. And then that already save like 5 to 10% of the water consumptions with just replacing the shower head. But what interesting for this shower head is that it has like a color change. So like how it works is that they have a turbine inside the shower head, and then when water goes through it, it will rotate, and then it will start a kind of like a timer counter. So it would so the color change like based on the time that they consume, and then they will change from like green to purple, and then at the end of the day it will change to red. So it's all about when water goes through the turbine, and then the turbine will generate enough the power required to ignite the light. And also the second part is that they have like a communication chip inside. So that turbine will also generate enough electricity to activate that communication chip, and then it will send the data to our LoRa server. So LoRa is another like you can treat it as like Wi-Fi signal. And in HKUST we have all this LoRa's network all over the campus. So we make use of that, and then what we after we install, actually we get to know in every shower how many water is consumed, and also like the water temperatures and also the flow rate. We have a lot of data that we can make use of, and then we try to make use of all those data to educate back on our students. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much for the detailed and easy, simply understandable explanation.
Not easy enough. Yes.
So second, let's talk about the Carbon Wallet app to promote a green lifestyle. So for Charlie, what is this app about, and how does it help university communities to encourage green living?
Yeah, so our program, we're trying to actually promote responsible consumption within the campus community, right? So that involves students and staff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could get really boring or really technical. So we were looking for a way to make it more fun, and of course everyone's on their phone nowadays. So we were looking for a kind of a green lifestyle app or green rewards app to collaborate with. And Carbon Wallet, I'm not sure if you've heard of before, but it's actually an app that's open to anyone around Hong Kong to use. So it's an app that lets people record their green actions and earn green rewards. So it's encouraging people to live a little greener in their life. So we decided to collaborate with them. So on their app, whenever you actually recycle, eat vegetarian meals, just walk more, take public transit, you're able to earn points. So we collaborated with them to set up for each campus their own community. So it's kind of like, think of, I'm not sure nowadays if people even know Facebook groups, but it's basically like on there's like a group of like you can be part of the UST community, and you'll be able to see your community's aggregate, carbon savings, how many total recyclables that everybody in UST contributed to, and it's really encouraging. So our collaboration was not only just like setting up these communities, but we also added an addition to their app so that for people in campus communities that borrow the Lunchbox, they're actually able to earn like a small amount of points when they borrow a Lunchbox and use that Lunchbox in their daily life. And as well, in the community, it's not just showing the aggregate data. We could also like have some newsfeed posts, some competitions, maybe using the data that we have from the shower heads or the electricity meters. And on the app as well, one more thing that we have is every semester we're hoping to add some community goals. So for example, everyone in the UST community tried to eat 200 vegetarian meals within this semester. And if you help do that, or if you contribute to that during that semester, you'll get a little extra points at the end. And it's pretty nice to see our progress is going quite well.
Oh, that's great to hear.
So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think, is it like TT Veggie that you can like basically submit your receipt on there, and then we can have points. Like, aside from TT Veggie, is there any other activities that we can do in HKUST that can contribute to those points?
Yeah, on campus specifically, other than eating at TT Veggie and recording your receipt, you can also recycle. So Michael actually has been putting in lots of work to help upload on the app, the various and numerous recycling points all around our campus onto the app. And the app, actually, the camera function on the app is you need to use that to record your actions. So it actually detects the GPS of your location, checks whether this recycling point is on their map to let you to be able to recycle something.
Wow!
So it's a pretty cool app, and I think with more young people and with more campus people joining it, I think it's a pretty cool thing, and you can redeem rewards that are quite attractive.
Okay.
Such as there's both material and non-material, and also experiences available. For example, trips to WWF nature tours, like at Maipo or in Hoi Hawan.
Okay.
There's actually a service from UST alumni called GR Pan that you can also purchase or trade with your points.
Right.
Or other, vegan or recycled material made products that you can also get on the app, which is pretty cool.
Do you want to say the code that they have to
yes. So everybody, I'm sure SSC, and also you can also access our IG to find information on Carbon Wallet. But after you download the app and make an account, make sure you head to the right bottom corner. There's a Me button, and then at the top it'll say My Community, and click on that and use the code capital CWUST001 to join the UST community, and you'll immediately receive 1,000 Carbon Wallet points and help contribute towards our whole university's sustainability efforts.
Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely do it. It's a podcast, so you guys can't see, but Charlie was dead staring at me while saying this. As JCSCCP is also implementing a lot of these Green Campus challenges in, the other 7 universities, what is the experience like, and what are the challenges and insights gained from these joint U collaborations?
So I think each university is quite different. UST has its own distinct culture, and every other university has their own distinct culture. Some people might spend more time on campus, eat their meals on campus, or some people might get more takeaways to go back to their hall. So it's been a really collaborative effort to partner with our counterparts at each university to see, what might work for them specifically, because not everything that applies to UST might apply to a different campus. So we do really rely on our counterparts, so staff on campus there, to share with us, what might work best. For example, where we should put the Lunchbox lending machines, what's a convenient location. We mainly rely on our partners there to tell us, what's the best way we should go about running an initiative. So for example, how we go about executing a campaign, where we should do a promotion booth, what's the most appropriate way to do it. We do really consult with them and ask them, okay, what's your advice on this? You guys know your students and your staff the best. What's the best way we can reach them? So
maybe I can add on one point, is that because each universities, they have different academic calendars, different midterms, different finals exam time.
Absolutely.
So because it is easy to do in just one university because you can cater their return times. When the students are free. But if you have a campaign, just a campaign or a workshop, you need to work on 8 universities, but their students have different schedules. It's hard to coordinate for a good time to run the campaign that has the most optimal number of reach. Yes.
Right. Speaking of, joint U collaborations, I think the one that I remember very clearly is the Joint U Clothes Swap initiative. So especially as secondhand clothing becomes more popular among Gen Zs, and personally I do purchase vintage or secondhand clothing because I feel like it's kind of my responsibility to acquire clothing in a more sustainable way. So I wanted to know how these clothes swap initiatives among campuses promote a more sustainable way of acquiring clothing.
Yeah, so the clothes swap is one of the initiatives in the JCSCCP program.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why we included it is because, clothes is something that everybody needs. We all need to wear clothes no matter who you are. And there's of course, there's other things that we need to consume in our daily lives as well, but clothes is something that's relatable to everyone, and there's actually actionable things that people can do really easily to wear clothes or use clothes more sustainably. And the clothes swap that we've done in previous years, I think, is a way to get people to kind of try to destigmatize that wearing secondhand clothing, right? It's not that bad. Like if you take good care of your clothes and just share it with your friends, like have some swapping parties or just go to our clothing shop and swap clothes with other students or other campus community members. It's actually a really great way to just refresh your wardrobe and get new clothes in, because it's a natural thing for your style to change every once in a while. Like you don't need to that's understandable, but there's more ways than just buying something new each time,
right?
Because that's not sustainable for the planet. It uses lots of resources and it's also costing a lot of money. So we have that clothes swap initiative as a way to try to kind of encourage that, I think, swapping and sharing culture. It doesn't just have to be clothes. It could be lots of different things as well, but we chose clothes as a starting point, as an easy way in.
Right. So since this event is a joint university event, how does the logistics of this event actually work? So for example, if you collected clothes from City U, does that also gets, sorted in one place and then gets swapped at HKUST as well?
Yeah, so in previous years, we actually, the way we organized the clothing swap was that we would collect clothes from each university campus and collect it all centrally, sort it, separate the clothes that are usable or reusable for the swap from the clothes that aren't so reusable before we brought them back to each campus to run a clothing swap there. So that was how we previously ran it, but we realized that actually that whole sorting process, figuring out sorting the clothes that people bring in from the clothes that aren't rewearable, like the clothes I don't know, the one with society logos, uniforms, or just really worn out clothes or just underwear, stuff that people won't be willing to wear again.
Yeah.
That whole sorting process is actually really educational, and we really want to bring that to the camp, bring that educational part to the campus, because I think that's how you can, encourage more responsible consumption, right? Don't just think that you're giving away clothes or donating clothes when you put them in a box, right? There's actually a lot of back-end things that need to go on as well. Yeah. So this year, we're actually kind of integrating the clothing swap with our sustainability leadership program and asking student teams from each campus to think of a way to drive circularity in clothes on their own campus. So then that whole collection, sorting, and redistribution process would be done within their own campus and, educate their campus community as well, hopefully.
Ooh, wow, this sounds amazing. I totally can relate to the fact that, a lot of people just treat these donation boxes as almost trash boxes and just throw whatever old clothes they have into it without, being very mindful of the fact that perhaps these clothes are basically being worn by someone else who, might basically enjoy their particular fashion. So I think the sorting process is definitely, a significant part, and also can, highlight the importance of hygiene, especially in secondhand clothes. Speaking of the Sustainability Leadership Program, this program also provides opportunities to university students themselves to lead projects in their own campuses to drive positive behavior change. So just now we talked about initiatives developed by JCSCCP, but this program allows students to develop programs themselves. So how does this program enrich university students who are passionate about sustainability issues to create a change?
Yeah, so I think we especially the Sustainability Leadership Program, usually we have, it's a full program that runs over this course of a semester. Okay. So, of course, we'll recruit, students from each university, and then after we get their applications, they'll go through a leadership training. to kind of see, okay, what's the best ways to influence, your peers at within your own campus community. And we really want to ride on this and rely on students themselves to drive peer-to-peer campaigns on their own campus, because, we as staff, us telling you things compared to like your peer telling you something and sharing something with you, I think peer-to-peer might be more influential sometimes. So yeah, we really want to kind of enable and empower these students as leaders within their own campus communities to drive positive behavioral change. Previously for the program, I think we might have given this, we gave students kind of a lot of freedom. Still now, we give students a lot of freedom to develop their own project ideas. And of course, chat with us to see, what's feasible to run within a semester's time, and with everyone being full-time students. So to kind of fine tune their ideas before they roll it out. And this time around, we tried to focus it down on driving circularity with clothing. And, there's still a lot of ways that you could go about doing this, right? There's upcycling workshops, there's clothing swaps, there's lots of different things that you could do. But yeah, we do encourage the students to think about not just running up the project for running the project, but also think about why you're doing it. They applied or they decided to join the program because they're either interested in sustainability or they're passionate about it, right? So how do you encourage more people in your campus to care about this issue, and how do you get them to take action? I think that's what we try to do with the program.
Right. I think this is very different from a lot of, traditional, so-called case competitions or projects that students typically join, which are kind of what you said, we just join it for the sake of it, for, actually putting it down in your CV or whatever. But this program seems to be a great way to actually drive a change and actually seeing how it's implemented among your peers. I think that's a very rewarding experience. So I wanted to ask, how are the ideas and views of this generation of university students important to drive the future of sustainability?
I mean, Michael, feel free to add on as well. But for me, just I think one of the great things about the program is that the students are actually really creative, and they come up with ideas that we haven't thought of before either. And it's really a chance for even us to learn from them as well, and get everybody together. Everyone's interested or passionate about the same issue, and how can we learn from one another to make a positive change. I think that's a really great thing. And also, I think just to answer your question, our program does welcome university students from all disciplines. It doesn't. Okay. You don't have to be studying environmental science or sustainability to join. It's just anyone with an interest could join. And sustainability does rely on the collaboration between so many different sectors and industries.
Definitely, yeah.
So that when university students, they graduate, they enter the workforce, if they have this idea of sustainability ingrained in their mind, they could bring that change when they join whatever company or whatever organization that they go to after they graduate. And I think that's something I'm excited about for this program. For this program, specifically, it's actually quite structured. It's not just think of a project and do it.
Right.
We ask them to submit a project proposal. We work with them to make it feasible. And then at the end of running their project, we ask them to submit a project completion report, kind of identify the deliverables and quantify your results. And I think that these are actually all skills that are quite useful for any career or any projects that you might want to do personally. So I think that's a thing that I think is a good point or a highlight of our program.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlie and Michael, for the discussion on the various initiatives by the Jockey Club's Sustainable Smart Campus Consumer Program today. Indeed, with the help of technology and ideas by bright young minds, behavior change that induce sustainable living lifestyles can make a big difference. We hope you guys enjoyed this enlightening conversation on the various JCSCCP initiatives on the HKUST campus. Make sure to follow Sustainable Smart Campus's socials, that is SSC_HKUST on Instagram, and JCSCCP's Instagram at JCSCCP_HK. And we will see you next time on the Uncommon Senses.
Go to your app store on your phone and search up Carbon Wallet, CARBON space wallet.
Right.
I'm just speaking into the mic. Into the unknown.